Doctor of Philosophy for a thesis entitled Comparative Analysis of Desiccation Responses in 3 Xerophyta Species at 2 Stages of Seedling Development, Mimosa Gloria Nkala.
On the 2nd of April 2025, I graduated with my PhD. This was the moment. This was an answered prayer. I had prayed for this moment. I had hoped to walk on that stage. And when it finally happened, I could not believe it. It was literally a dream come true. And what I did was share my story on LinkedIn and Facebook. Lo and behold, the posts went viral. I did not expect that. I did not see that coming. And I think what made the story to go viral was the fact that I did not just graduate with a PhD from UCT, which is one of the best universities in the world, but I also got a PhD from University of Potsdam in Germany. Let me take it in. A co-bachelor degree from UCT and the University of Potsdam in Germany. Not only that, but the University of Potsdam awarded this degree magna cum laude. You know what that means? It means I did exceptionally well. My work was good, my research was good, and the 3 people who examined me saw value in the work that I produced. And they were like, my girl, magna cum laude, Ashu. So that's like the high grade, to put it simply. And I think that's why the posts went viral. But apart from that, I also think that some people resonated with the story. Although I could not put everything that happened in that one single post, I mean, it was just a few paragraphs, I managed to summarize what actually went down. Talking about the challenges that I experienced during the course of my PhD, my background, how I overcame, just in a nutshell. So I think some people resonated, some people were inspired, some were motivated. Essentially, people loved the story, and I was humbled. I was overwhelmed by the responses that I got from the world, because this went beyond South Africa, beyond the African continent. It went to the entire world, and I was just humbled by the response. And when I was sitting down on my own, I thought to myself, I cannot keep quiet about this story. Of course, what people see is the end result, the highlight, the graduation photo. But there's a lot that happened. There's a lot that happened behind the scenes, a lot that happened that shaped me and made me into the person that I am today. For example, having to wake up early in the mornings when everyone is sleeping, or sleeping late at night when the world is sleeping.
My favorite thing about waking up early in the morning is that it's so quiet. It is so peaceful. Everyone is sleeping. It honestly feels like you own the entire world. It is so refreshing. Oh, I just love waking up early. I don't do it all the time because these days I sleep late. But guys, it's beautiful. Ah, ah. Anyway, let's go to work.
Everyone who has done a PhD knows that it requires a lot of hard work. And mine was no different. I also had to put in the work. Oh, I worked hard like I've never done before. And a lot of hours were spent in the lab. A lot of hours were spent in the library, working, analyzing data, writing my thesis, working on corrections, and just putting in the work.
Hey guys, I just want to quickly record this video before I leave. I'm about to go to the library now, and I just thought I should come on here, do a quick check-in and update you about what's happening right now. So right now, today I woke up feeling very down and low, demotivated and defeated, and mainly because number one, I've been struggling with this thing that I'm busy working on. There's some analysis that I still need to do, and I've been struggling with that. And then secondly, it's Friday today, and I have a meeting on Monday, and there's a lot that I need to do before the meeting. So the plan was for me to wake up at 4:30 in the morning so that I can do some work, then go to gym, then go to campus afterwards. But Boroko ki enemy ya progress. Sleep is the enemy of progress. So I couldn't wake up. I turned off my alarm and I ended up waking up. Okay, it doesn't sound right, but hey, just before gym time. And I was so defeated. I literally dragged myself out of the room. Even now, I'm not all energetic or enthusiastic. That's the honest truth. If you're according to me, if I had a choice, I would sleep the whole day. That's how I feel right now. But I'm gonna go to the library and hopefully I'll get some work done because I need to work.
One of the saddest and most heartbreaking thing that I experienced during the course of my PhD was the delays. I did not anticipate that. I guess I was also naive. I was not in touch with the reality because with the kind of work that I did in my PhD, which mainly involved lab work, I had to spend a lot of time in the lab doing experiments, generating data so that I can answer the questions that I had, the research questions that I had, and then put together a compilation of those results and present them in the form of a thesis. So there are a lot of delays, and COVID was one of them. But also with research, particularly if you spend most of the time in the lab, more often than not, things don't work. Or sometimes, if not all the time, when they eventually work, you would have had to put in hours of optimizing the protocol, of refining the protocol, the method, trying out different strategies until you find the one that works. And sometimes this means having to order reagents from overseas, and that can take a couple of weeks to a month or even more than a month for your order to be delivered. What do you do in the meantime? That causes a lot of delays. Unfortunately, when you are funded by an organization like NRF, National Research Foundation, for example, they don't really consider such things. All they want is for you to deliver. They fund you for 3 years and you need to deliver your promises, because you make promises, you set your objectives at the beginning of your funding period, that this is what you're going to do, this is how long it's going to take, and by the end of your 3-year period, you will be done with your PhD. And then the reality hits. Yeah, 3 years go by and you haven't even accomplished 50% of the objectives that you said you're going to accomplish. Huh? That's the reality. And then you have to negotiate, talk to them, explain that this was what happened, this was the cause of the delays, and this is what I'm currently working on. I need you guys to fund me for 1 more year, and then I promise that I will be done by the end of that period. So you constantly find yourself in a situation where you beg, because you can't do research without funding. And then you also have to humble yourself and understand that things don't always work out the way you wish. You also find yourself making promises to your funders to say, yes, although I was not able to accomplish all my objectives, this is the strategy that I'm using now and it's gonna work. And I promise that by the end of this funding period, I would have been able to accomplish 1, 2, and 3. And you don't just make these promises to your funders, but you also make promises to your faculty. Every single year, at the beginning of the registration period, there's a memorandum of understanding that you have to sign. There, you and your supervisor have to sit together to draft this. Essentially, you are writing down your goals for that year. What are you aiming to accomplish by the end of the year? Or maybe if you had already registered the previous year, explain why were you not able to accomplish the goals that you had set for this year, and why should we even allow you to register again? Do you understand the amount of fighting that you constantly have to do to ensure that you remain in the system and you also have funding to continue doing your research up until the finish line? These are some of the things that go on behind the scenes that people don't see.
Yesterday I was a mess. Yesterday I was a mess. In the morning I went to the library and I was not productive. I was there sitting in front of my computer trying to get some work done, but I just got overwhelmed at the realization that I'm not making as much progress as I should be making. I mean, I work every single day. I show up every single day and night, literally from morning until evening. I am working. Of course, I do take breaks. I prioritize other things that are important. But all I'm saying is I am putting in the work. I am putting in the effort. But I honestly feel like the progress doesn't show. It doesn't match the amount of time that I put.
Apart from that, there are many other challenges that I personally experienced, such as self-doubt. Oh, I don't know how many times I doubted myself and my abilities and what I'm able to do and accomplish. I don't know how many times during the journey. I would completely forget about my past accomplishments, my masters, my honors, and so forth. Completely forget about all of that and just focus on what I'm not able to do and doubt my capabilities, have imposter syndrome, feeling like I don't belong in the spaces that I occupy. Guys, and when you start feeling like that, you're not able to show up as your best self. Your confidence is compromised. Your ability to show up is compromised. And also, how you perform as well is also compromised. You're no longer able to function at an optimum level. And that affects the results that you produce. You see, it's like a chain. Everything is connected and your overall well-being is affected and your progress as well. That was a lot. And there were also instances where I felt like a failure because I had set a goal for myself that I'm going to finish within 3 years. But it took me almost 6 years to finish my PhD. At times, I found myself attaching my identity to my academic achievements. My entire identity was attached to my accomplishments. So when that area was not going well, it felt like my whole world was crushed. That's how bad it was. Oh, so I had to learn to separate my identity from my academic. And that took a lot of work and time as well. It's important for me to mention that my PhD journey was not only comprised of challenges, even though I had a fair share of them, but there were also good moments. There were some highlights that really made the journey worth it. These include being afforded opportunities to present my work at local conferences and international conferences where you meet people from various backgrounds and you share what you've been working on, and you also get to learn what they're working on. And one of the conferences that I attended in 2023 was in Bulgaria. Oh, I had a lovely time.
It's Sunday morning and we just came back from breakfast and now we going to work and prepare for the presentation. So I have my presentation on Tuesday afternoon. So right now I'm just gonna go through the slides, make sure that I know my story because I don't want to embarrass myself during the people because it's an international conference, so there'll be professors, PhD students, I think master students as well. Yeah, so people from all over the world will be here, so I need to make sure that I bring my A game and represent my lab well, my university, and everyone else who's involved in this project. So I really need to give it my all. That's why we've decided to spend some time working on our presentations, and then we will do the exploration later on. Priorities. Yes, so that is the plan for today.
And I gave one of the best presentations. I remember after the presentation, people came to me and they were really commending me for how I delivered the presentation. And for me, that was an affirmation that I needed because at that time, things were tough. I was going through it. But when I heard people saying, oh, wow, you spoke so well. Your project is so interesting. I would love to hear more about this and that. I was like, oh, this is good. I also spent a year in Germany as part of my exchange program. And man, oh man, what a beautiful experience I had there. One for the books. I've already given you a glimpse of what can go down in one's PhD journey. This one, of course, is my personal journey. But people go through different experiences, some even worse than mine, or some better. It just differs from person to person. But I know that some people are forced to take sabbaticals because they just can't take it anymore. Mentally, they are drained. They are at the lowest. They go through depression and they can't write their thesis. They are not functional and they end up putting this whole PhD aside and just focusing on recovering and healing. And once they get better, they go back. Others are able to go back, but some are not able to. There are some who, because of financial challenges, end up having to take jobs outside so that they can be able to fund their research. It's a reality for a lot of people. And obviously, this means you now have to juggle your work and your PhD, and that is difficult. I mean, doing a PhD alone, full time, is a lot of work. Now, how much more when we have to juggle work and your research? I can't even start to imagine it. So, a lot happens. And sometimes, if you do not have practices that you do to stay afloat, you will eventually drown. For me, I had a number of practices that I had to implement in order to stay afloat. Things that really helped me to show up even when I didn't want to show up. Things that helped me to still be in a good shape physically, emotionally, and mentally. I look back now and I realize that if it wasn't for these things, I honestly don't think I would have been able to finish my PhD. I had my morning run and it was so good. To think that I didn't want to go for a run in the morning. I was not up for it. If I was running alone, I don't think I would have gone. That's why having accountability partners is so important, because in times like this when you don't feel like running, you have someone who will be like, let's go, and you're forced to go even when you don't feel like going. That's what I appreciate about having a running partner or a running club or a group. It's really helpful, Shane. It keeps you accountable. So the run was good. It was a short and quick one, 5 kilometers. All good. And
Now I'm just making breakfast, and then after that we'll start working. I'm not going to campus today. I'll be working from home.
What I've just shared with you now is just a snippet of what happened during my PhD. All in all, my PhD was a beautiful journey. I am so grateful for that journey. I look back now and I am filled with so much gratitude for the lessons that I learned, the experiences that I went through, the mistakes that I made, which turned out to be life lessons. And in hindsight, as they usually say, things always make sense in hindsight when you look back. So I'm actually grateful for the PhD journey that I went through. It was unique and it took almost 6 years instead of 3 years. And of course, it was frustrating. I won't lie. At first, I was so frustrated. I just felt like God was being unfair. But now that I look back, I'm actually grateful that things happened the way they did, because now I know things that I didn't know before. And I don't think I would have learned as much if I had finished in 3 years. I don't think I would have experienced the growth that I've experienced if the journey was shorter. Not to say that if your journey was short, then the refinery process was not done completely. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying with what happened in my journey, I'm grateful that it took this long, because it came with so many rich experiences. That's why I have decided to share this story. It's not only about the qualification, but it's also about the things that happened during the process that led to the qualification. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and really dive deep into the experiences, the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, the delays, the confusion, depression, everything unfiltered. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that I can plant a seed of hope in someone's life, to say, oh, she went through this and she overcame. I can do it too. There's hope for me then. Let me just keep on going. Let me just keep on pushing. And that's because when I was going through that journey myself, there were people that I used to watch on YouTube. There were books that I used to read. There were podcasts I used to watch, people that I used to listen to, conversations I used to have with people. And they really helped me. They really carried me, because when I felt like this is it, I can't take it anymore, someone would say, you can do it. Someone will remind me that God was with you in the past, and there is no way He will leave you to be alone right now. He opened this door of opportunity for you for a reason. So He won't leave you and He won't forsake you. Just keep on pushing and doing your part and trust Him to do the rest. So I got inspiration from others when I went through my own challenges. I feel like it would be very selfish for me to sit in my own corner and harbor this story, these experiences, and not share them with others. So I'm doing this out of obedience, because I feel like someone will benefit, even if it's just one person. I feel like someone will benefit from this in one way or the other, and I can't keep quiet about it. Of course, at some point, I won't lie, I felt like, the the story has expired. What do you mean you only want to share this journey in 2026? I mean, you submitted your PhD in 2024, you graduated last year, your story has expired. So chill. But then recently, I've been convicted to do it. Others have ministered to me in the past in a mighty way, and I feel the need to do the same as well. So please stick around. This is not only for people who are doing their PhDs, but it's for anyone, regardless of the profession that you're pursuing or the season of life that you are currently navigating. Because one thing about life, it has common themes. So there are common themes that we experience in different phases of our lives. Whether you are in finance, or law, or science, there are things that we all need as we navigate through these journeys. You will need resilience. You need to know how to be consistent, to show up when you don't feel like showing up, to have discipline. How do you cultivate good habits that will help you to succeed? How do you nurture a community that will help you to stay grounded and cover you in times of need? So there are common themes, and it doesn't matter where you are in life or what you're currently doing. So anyone is welcome. You are welcome to stick around and watch the next coming episodes. So please stay tuned for the upcoming series, My PhD Journey Unfiltered. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe so that you can get notified when a new episode is uploaded. Oh yes, before I forget, next week on Thursday, a new episode will be uploaded. So please stay tuned. Alrighty, see you soon.